James Patrick Page, of course. Yeah, you know who I want at number one. But he's on his own. He's on his own, folks. But if I could make a plea, no, I won't put that on you. No, he's number one. He's my favorite guitar player, bar none. Him and Jimi Hendrix, who's probably number 4 or 5. I'm trying to remember where I place him. Both took risks live. That's what I love about them. And they would both paint themselves into a corner. Although the reason I give the nudge to Jimi in that sense is Jimi willfully painted, Hendrix his flying high, and wound up in a corner and could save it every freaking time, right? Jimi goes, I wonder how far I can really, I wonder if this little alley has a dead end. Oh, 90-degree turn. And he was so good at it, So a lot of people would say, with a lot of live recordings, well, there was some slop there. I'll take that kind of slop over just playing benign little licks that we've heard 1,000 times, safe passages, that went. You do it 8 times because you're thinking of your next move, right? That's not, to me, a great guitar player. And guitar players who take true risks, and remember, Jimmy Page sharpened, he was already this fantastic guitarist. We all know, with the Yardbirds, he was doing that. But before he got with the Yardbirds and Led Zeppelin and everything, he actively went to clubs to jam, to develop his ability to say something new they hadn't played before, to let his fingers kind of take over and his mind try to catch up and see what he could do with it. That's why he's my favorite guitar player of all time. David is my okay, Ian LaBelle says David is my overall guitar. David Gilmour? Yeah. David Gilmour, yeah, David Gilmour's very high. I have such this list. He's in the top 5. He's got to be in the top 4, but where does that put Carlos? Yeah. And would he even get to the top 3? So many people just make him the number 1 guitar player all the time anyway. A lot of lists just, Page is below him, So I have a feeling he'll do well. Will he become the number 1 guitar player for the Tribe? That is still a question. Ernie Isley from the Isley Brothers, inspired by the previous Isley Brothers guitarist, Jimi Hendrix. Didn't they just call him Little Hendrix?
Joe Bonamassa.
That's what we called him anyway, back in the day. Joe Bonamassa. Good Lord. I should have put him on the list. And he's currently doing it all, he's in his prime, baby. Right? So Joe Bonamassa, good Lord, absolutely. Oh, what are we going to do with this, Kimberly? We're being overrun. Mozart for lead guitar, right? Mozart, of course. But you know what? You said he might be responding to an earlier comment about Ritchie Blackmore. Ritchie Blackmore was inspired by Mozart, right? And that's why you hear him going. And of course, John Lord, being classically trained, could easily go there. And they developed that ping pong effect and even harmonizing with each other on lines. Nobody went into that territory like him. And if you think about, he didn't go there like this tinkler, although he could play great acoustic guitar as well. But he went in with one of the heaviest bands on the planet. Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, if they were in town, nobody else wanted to be in town, right? But right under them, you had the Stones whenever they wished to tour, The Who, but you also had Black Sabbath and Deep Purple playing major shows, man. They were top dollar bands, and Deep Purple didn't get there sounding too much like Mozart, but I love that whole I love Deep Purple when they are Mozart inspired. I really miss John Lord so much. My favorite keyboardist in rock, bar none. Tommy Bolin. Ah, all right. Let's see if anybody's going to be voting here in the last few minutes for Tommy Bolin. The more Tommy Bolins we see, oh my God! You know what? If Deep Purple had to go with anybody other than Ritchie Blackmore at that time, that's the guy that I wanted. I love Come Taste the Band. I love Tommy Bolin.